Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Spiritual sex and candy, yeah.
Hey, sensual souls. Welcome to Spiritual Sex and Candy. I am Heather, your Shamanic Sweetener, and with me is my illustrious co-host, JP Adkins, our Freedom Jedi.
Hi, everybody.
JP.
How are you? Hi, Heather. It's so nice to see you.
It is so nice to see you. What's going on?
I don't know what the hell it is. As soon as I go live, everything goes freaking crazy.
Well, you know, that's what
Let me-
happens when we're live.
Like, it shouldn't be. Like,
You sound fine. You
I'm
look
showing
fine.
a
You're
very
not
good
lagging.
connection.
You look great.
You just totally lagged on me.
Oh, well, you look fine and you're not lagging. It's not lagging on my end. So,
Okay. Yeah, it's saying
Hi,
that I'm
everyone.
fast. Okay.
we are on
Hi.
episode 28. Here is your trigger warning. We're talking about holiday hookups today. So, we're going to be talking about sex and possibly
Bam.
drugs and possibly any other fucking thing that we want to talk about. Oh, and we say the word fuck a lot. So, if you are easily triggered or any of these things are going to make you uncomfortable, this is your time to exit now. We love you, but we don't want to hear you complain and say that we triggered you. So, bye-bye. Bye-bye now. We're on episode 28. Ho, ho, ho. Holiday hookups.
How we trigger
But make
us.
it spiritual. We don't know if it's going to be spiritual or not, but
So, so this is so funny because this morning, as I normally do, I say, Heather, what are we talking about today? And she goes, ho ho ho, holiday hookups, and I'm like, I know I said this out loud, and I know that I had a thought process here, but what is that thought process? Like, do you remember? And she goes, nope, I have no clue. So, welcome.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun.
yeah, we
You
were
don't know.
just talking about like what should we talk about through the holidays and, you know, it being that time of year. And you said, my favorite thing to say is ho, ho, ho. And we should talk about ho, 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 holiday hookups. And I went, okay, let's do that. And then we went on to like the next subject. So, but this is a subject that is near and dear to our heart because we be hooking up. Not him and I hooking up. Let me get that straight. Jeff and I are not hooking up.
Yeah. Can we, I don't think we're compatible. I think you're missing parts. You have it.
I'm
innie.
missing parts.
They're weird. Yes, you're missing parts.
I'm missing parts.
You have it in
You have the parts that I like. I do not have the parts that you like.
Exactly. You're just missing parts. That's okay.
I mean, I don't feel like I'm missing any parts. Let me just say that. I have pretty good parts.
You know.
There's a reason why I call her the pleasure portal because
And
it's addicting. She's addicting.
and so many men agree.
There are a few. There are a few.
So
Oddly enough, I do not
well,
have
Frederick
like a
decided he
wicked
had to come back,
high
of course.
for
come on.
being single for, you know, like not ever really. I mean, I was married that one time for a short amount of time, but like for being single the majority of my adult life and not being in serious relationships. So like I did not have a whole lot of serious relationships. I really don't have a very high body count. I like to recycle mine. I like to recycle booty calls.
There you go. Tina,
Hi, Tina.
I did for a long time. I was a serial monogamist for many, many, many years. And it really wasn't. I've talked about this before on the podcast. It really wasn't until after my brother died that I like
Hit
it
a
was my brother
manhole?
dying and my 7-year relationship where I had no sex. I became
Yeah.
a little bit of a man whore. Yeah, my body count probably quadrupled or more. Um,
I mean, I had a
I might have
moment
10x.
there
Who knows?
for a
I
hot
stopped
minute
counting.
where. I mean, I have to say though, I have had like meet someone at the bar and bring them home and kick them out when we were done. I had one guy that he literally drove across town. Like we met at a bar at a country club, and he took his buddy home and drove all the way back across town to my house. And it was my birthday, and I just fucked the shit out of him, and then went, "Okay, have a good night," and made him drive back across town. And then the next day, for real, like, accidentally text him, and I said, and I was like, "Sorry, I didn't mean to text you." And he was like, "Who is this?" And I was like, "It's the chick from last night." And he said, and he was like, something about I should have lost his number already or something along those lines. And I said, I literally just told you that text was not for you. Like, and then like 3 months later, he messaged me and I was like, who the fuck is this? And he was like, remember that guy from, and he said the name of the bar, and I was like, oh, yes. Yeah, like what? And he goes, do you want to hook up again? And I go, shouldn't you have lost my phone number by now?
I have someone who will probably never see this, so I can say this out loud. Okay, so there's a there's a guy that I hooked up with, and he would be a really great client of mine. Honestly,
Yeah.
he would have been a really good client, and because he was a straight boy, he ended up leaving his wife and deciding that he wanted, to experiment with guys and this whole thing. And now he calls me quite frequently, and
Right.
he's like, I want you to do XYZ with me. And I'm like, and so right after we hooked up, he went to rehab. So again, when I tell you that he's a really good client idea, like
Right.
he was, like, I was talking to him through, like, got him to go to rehab, like,
Yeah.
and then I was a human and a coach and a person, and he really
Yeah.
needed that at the time. And now he's like, kind of he got out of rehab, and then I'm the first person he calls because now he's deciding that he's gonna do all the things, and who can he do those with? And it's like, I'm an easy target. And if he was still close, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. But he moved across town. Like, he's not close. He's not close
It's
to
not
here. He's
convenient.
not close to where I live in Adrian. He's not close. It's not convenient. And you don't drive more than 15 minutes for a blowjob. It's just a rule. So,
I mean, fair enough. Tina says she watched a video if your body count was on your forehead. No.
I don't want it.
I mean, to be honest, I don't really care. But I
No.
also don't, I'm not one of those, like, how many women have you been with when I've been with someone? Because I don't really care how many women you've been with. So here's the thing for me. I am friends with a lot, like, I could be in the same room with my exes and be perfectly okay. Like, even my ex-husband, and I mean, I haven't talked to him in years, but like, I don't have any, there's only a couple that I would, and that's my choice. It's not because they wouldn't be in a room with me. It's that I don't know how I would react if I was in a room with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, my ex husband's dead, so I mean, let's go there. Um, so I, he's probably one of the few that I probably wouldn't be in a room with,
Right.
even before he died. He's Other than that, it would be nice to run into a couple of them. Like Seth would be. I would love to know what happened to Seth. He was kind of one of my first boyfriends. Um, and the other one that would be interesting to run into is the husband, the actual one I had a ceremony with. That one would be interesting to run into DJ. I would be like, what the like one of those.
Right.
Oh, you're still alive. I doubt it actually, but not the life he was living. He's probably not, but you know,
Yeah,
I hope so.
I mean, one of mine, we send videos back and forth to, not sex video. We send like reels back and forth to each other. I wanted to get that out there. Like, I was gonna say videos,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't sound appropriate. Though I don't know, I might send him those
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of videos,
the
maybe.
videos.
But then, so this is funny because one time I was with him, and I was like talking to another guy, and the guy wanted a picture of me and him. Well, actually, what he wanted was a video of me giving dude head, which I was like, okay, fine,
Okay.
right? So he was like, really? And I go, yeah, just like record me giving you head, whatever. Like, what's the big deal? To me, that's not a big deal. So I'm like, whatever, and stuff. So we did. Now, talk about the universe telling you that you like this is like no, there does not need to be a video of me giving my fuck buddy head. His whole phone crashed. We woke up the next morning. I'm not lying. We got up the next morning and his screen was black on his phone, and like could not recover anything from the phone. It like literally the whole phone just he lost everything that was on that phone.
That's an
And I
energy
was
thing.
like, that's some energy there.
That's some energy. That was some energy. You know,
Yeah, it was so intense that the universe was like, no one needs to see that.
no one needs to see this. Yeah. It's really interesting because Tina Marie watched.
Yeah, like he doesn't even get to rewatch it, which sucks.
um if you guys don't know, Tina's one of Heather's very best friends, so I can actually see that Tina would have seen that
No, she didn't
video.
see the video. The watched was a correction to what she said before.
Just out of that, So,
yeah, it's pretty funny. No, but other
yeah,
than that,
so
I've
video-
actually never been recorded, to be honest, other than that one time. I mean, that I'm aware of.
There's video out there. There's definitely video out there.
I have
As a matter of
sent
fact, there's a
some pretty
video of
risque
the other night
pictures
with Omar.
and things, but um, I'm sure there are some inappropriate pictures of me on the interwebs somewhere, deep diving. Good luck. I've sent some things.
Yeah, there's definitely videos. There's definitely things. There's some that I posted. There's things out there. If you are looking hard enough for me, you can find them.
I don't think anyone wants to look hard enough for
There's
me
a video
to
out there.
find a video. It wouldn't have been with anyone.
This is why I'm gonna run for office.
Tina, no, I've never seen other naughty videos. No one has. The phone died. No one has. He didn't even get to rewatch the video. No, it never got sent. That's what I'm saying. Like, it just like, yeah, the whole phone, like.
I have. So I think I've talked about I've been seeing somebody, the last minute boyfriend thing the not boyfriend, and we talked about Thanksgiving, which I ended up not going to his parent, Vita's parents, because the RV started acting up right then. So yeah, he came over last week, and we've kind of fooled around, but he doesn't really like sex. It's all about the BDSM and the power exchange, and it's really not about the orgasm for him. So he took some images, he took some video and stuff that he sent to a friend, one of his kinksters, but I was fully clothed for those. He took a few that I'm not fully clothed in a previous experience.
Tina sent some
We had.
naughty videos to
But
some men.
I'm pretty. Ooh, Tina. It's not something that I'm ashamed of, really. Like, really, I want to run for office because there's one out there. So way back when, when I was still being pretty good, pretty, like, my reputation was much worse than the reality was for a very long time. And but there was a moment for like 4 months where if they were straight, or if they were, I mean, actually, if they're straight, I do have a reputation to end up with straight men. But if they were traveling in a town, or they were straight, or like, that was who I was hooking up with, like, kind of consistently. It, to the point it became a joke that's who I end up with. And there was this cast member from Mamma Mia. He was a director, and then his partner was actually in the cast, and we ended up together. And there's a video, and that video I never saw, and that video I would really like to see. Because
I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't make a video. I know someone. I'm sure that someone has me in their spank bank somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
I mean, I have sent pictures. I just, yeah. So I'm sure I'm in some spank bank somewhere.
So I got a
Probably
question
more
for
than
you.
one.
If you were going to go and visit family out of state, let's call it Ohio for now. Right? So if you're going to go back there, would you open an app to see if you can hook up while you're there?
I don't know. I don't. So I have not hooked up in such a very long time that, I mean, like, I haven't been with anyone in 5 years. So, and purely by choice, obviously, it's not that I can't get a man. If you've seen me, you know. It is purely by choice. I don't know that I would. I mean, because so I've thought about that in the sense that I may have later in the month, more of an opportunity to do that. And there for a second, I was like, I could.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but I put so much value on that at this point that I would want to meet them and have a connection. I would not want to just have a booty call. I just am not into that anymore. Like, I want a real connection in order to do that. Because, because they always want to come back. No, I just don't want meaningless sex anymore.
I got it.
I just don't. It's just one of those things that, like, I've done that. I've had the emotion, I wouldn't even say emotionless because it's never just emotionless. But, I've had plenty of that. Now, if I was going across country and I could stop and see a couple of people that I have been with before, that I might do. I have there's a couple of them out there that if I were, going to certain parts of the country and I could swing through and we could, that I would probably do. But I know what I'm getting with them, and it's only the ones that are really good. Or if they were coming this direction. Literally.
I gotta, yeah.
'Cause I don't mind recycling, but
I don't know. It.
but again, it's because I know what I'm getting with them. So there's already a connection there in some way, and so therefore, I could do that hookup and be okay with where it is. But what I do not want to do is start any more of those, mainly because I don't want to have bad sex. I'm all about quality over quantity.
I understand that. I
I'm all about quality over
I
quantity.
can understand that. One of the things I really like about Murray is that although it's not all about what you would consider sex for the most part,
Right.
what we do have is very interesting experiences.
Well, because you have,
So,
but when you are
and he's
playing
creative.
those, like playing those roles, I don't mean it like that. When you have those roles with each other, that is a different kind of intimacy. Like that's
But yeah,
it's intimate, and so there's a difference between that, and I think that's the part for me is like I want that intimacy. I want the foreplay and foreplay for
yeah,
women is different. Like you have to be good to me all day. That's foreplay. It's how we interact when we're out, how things are going, what is. And then when we get home, it's not just rub rub rub. Okay, I'm going to stick it in. Like
yeah.
I want some true intimacy, which I have had very little of over my lifetime, believe it or not. Not a lot
Yeah,
of intimacy.
I believe that.
Yeah, but I mean, for a while,
It's
I
funny
was
we're
very shut off
in.
from that. It was a release. It was it was to feel something different. And so I was, very cut off in that regards of letting anyone in to be intimate with me. So there's that part. And then the last guy I tried to date, he treated me like I was a little fucking brat and and then wanted me to just like get down with him. And I'm like, "What? That's not how that works, dude." You know. So there's that part. But we're going into the holidays, and a lot of times during the holidays, which is why we picked this subject, is, there's some pressure during the holidays. Maybe your family gives you pressure. I mean, they make whole movies about it, right? Of family members giving you pressure to be with someone, or you feel like you're always the single one. So for me, I am the perpetual single friend, right? And I have been for years and years. And I just got super comfortable just being the single friend. And I'm okay with going to holiday parties and doing things without a partner. But there's a lot of pressure during the holidays to bring someone with you,
Mhm.
right? Or maybe you don't have that. And so you're looking for someone to occupy your time during the holidays.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm back. Um, there is. I know there has been at times some real pressure to have somebody at holiday events and how their
Yeah.
holiday gatherings. Um, it's a little different with my family because they don't necessarily, you know, yes, I'm out. Yes, they're comfortable for the most part that I am out, but they're not necessarily going to ask me the same way they would ask my niece or even one of my nephews.
Right. Do you think that's because there
You know,
is a
so who
is it
you
because
dating? Blah
they're
blah blah. That
uncomfortable, or
it's just
is it
not going to
because
be.
there's a lower expectation for a gay man to bring a man home with them?
Probably both, honestly. I think that um, for instance, last week again we were talking about Omari and I. We had that conversation. Should we go to Thanksgiving? And I almost did go over, and his mom sent me a freaking plate. For goodness sakes.
Right.
And I'm glad that she did. It was very nice. It was very sweet. But it there just isn't the same expectation, and I would have been the first guy he brought home, which had me kind of curious if I wanted to, because
Yeah.
that's a lot of pressure. Um,
Well,
and it's not why I didn't go. I did actually change, and I because what I was wearing was my family appropriate, and but not necessarily meeting
right.
someone else's family appropriate.
Right.
Um, I like my big baggy pants, and everyone kept asking me if I was wearing a dress all day, and you know,
Right.
um, and so it was a very different. I could do yoga in these. So I changed into some jeans, and I changed my shirt, and because I was wearing my robe, and I was like my cloak, not a robe, but you know,
Right.
which was perfect for my family. But going to see his family,
Right.
there's a different level I would want to present myself as. You know, and again,
Yeah, and then
he
is there,
doesn't
the
bring
other
people over.
question
He's never
lies,
brought anybody home.
how serious of a relationship do you
He's
have
only
to be
had
before you
two
go to
serious
someone?
relationships.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like, at what point in a
Yeah,
relationship,
how serious? I personally, I thought it was a little soon with Omari. I mean, I did not invite him to mine, and it would have been a lot easier to invite him to mine. Even just as a friend, I've had friends
right?
come. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't
Yeah,
necessarily be, you're welcome to family dinners. You know what I mean? It's
right.
just what we do. Um, and it wouldn't have been oh, so how long have you been dating? What's been going on? Who are you? Kind of, it'd been nice social. If nothing else, they would have made fun of me, because that's what my family does. It's the way that we show love, is through tearing
Oh,
each
I would
other
fit
apart.
right in.
Right, right. You know, and it's just, yeah. I don't know. I would say that at least 6 months typically is a
Yeah.
good rule of thumb. And if you
I feel
guys
like if
are
I'm going to
really dating,
introduce you to my people, because my family is not very big. So
right?
to say meeting my family, I mean, like, we don't all get together and have big, huge meals or anything like that. So,
Yeah,
hey, if I'm inviting you to my sister's for Thanksgiving dinner and there's like 6 people there, we have
yeah,
to be super close for that,
right.
because that's an intimate setting in and of itself. Like, we're
Hmm.
not talking 30 people, like going to your
Right,
families where there's 40 fucking people of immediate family having dinner, where you could kind of like, they can kind of blend into the crowd of people as long as they're okay with that, right? So yeah, if someone was coming
hmm,
to something like
right,
that. But then, like, my friends hold on the 23rd of December every year. One of my bestest friends in the whole world. We've been best friends for 100 years. Um, they throw this huge, huge Christmas party. It's called the Party of the 23rd. And there has been upwards of like 300 people at this party. And I'm not over exaggerating, you know. And there's karaoke and there's, you know, all these things going on. I would be more apt to take someone there because, again, it's that blending in, and he wouldn't be interrogated, and, you know, that sort of thing. But even then, if I showed up with someone, they know it's serious because I don't take people to things. So if I show up with someone to a family gathering, whether it be a barbecue at their house or the party or whatever, then they know that this is someone that I really like because they're important enough to come to an event like that with me. Because it's just not something that I don't do that. I just don't. That's, you know.
Yeah.
But I haven't really been with anyone,
like I said,
truly worthy of doing
I
that.
do have the big family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have the big family. I could bring, you know, Wayne's been to my family dinners when Wayne and I were dating. There was a time when anyone that I was actually seeing, you know, kind of had to see my mom. She lived with me.
Right.
I was taking care of her. So, you know, there was a level there. Like, are you going to come over to my house to even have any? Are we gonna play around in my house? Because my mom is around, you know.
Right.
So, and she used to leave every Friday night for a long time. My sister used to go and pick her up, and she would babysit for the kids on Saturday, which was really cool. And then, it gave me a night out, you know, basically a free night.
Right.
And I took advantage of that quite a lot. But yeah, you had to know, like, you kind of had to know that it was more than a hookup. Wayne met her. Thomas actually met her. Kevin, I think, met her. Like, they're
Yeah.
in that time frame, and they're all still friends. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I could probably hook up with all three of them right now if I really wanted to. And two of them are
Braggy
married.
McBraggerton.
So there's that.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I've
Yeah,
been with. Oh, I won't. One of them
I
I've
don't
been with
know
his
how
husband
many of
too.
you
So
out there listening,
that's, you know.
like, let us know. Do you ever feel pressured to either just hook up with someone during the holidays because you feel, you know, you just don't want to be alone for the holidays, maybe, or, you know, and what is your time frame in introducing them to your family? When would you bring them home for holiday dinner?
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean,
Like you
at
do the
this point,
Hallmark movie.
it would
You know,
take someone.
you get that date to have the date.
Yeah. I, I I'm not a hookup person anymore. I'm just not. It's not what I want, and you know, I think when you're at a point, like, I'm ready to find a partner. And I know that there's in somewhat someone's going to be like, "Well, you have to date around to do that." No, you don't. I read people's energies. If you get me to go out with you, I'm interested in some way because I get very bored very quickly. And so if you can't keep a conversation with me, it's not going to go anywhere anyway. Yeah, I think, well, yeah, okay. I mean, I can see that. Inviting people over to just eat and no hookup. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
a
mean,
little di- different if you know.
I yeah, it's a different flavor if they know that that's what it is, and it's, they were gonna be alone. There's a rule in my family that no one's alone on a holiday. Just
Right.
come on, it doesn't freaking matter. If you don't have anywhere else to go, you might as well be here. Again, there's my
Right.
immediate family, brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews, and parents are 32. At that point,
Right.
it doesn't freaking matter. We could bring
Right.
10 more people and no one would even notice,
Right.
you know, before the food starts getting funky. 10 is the number. By the way, we've checked this. 10 is the number. Um, because we're making a ham and a turkey and, a big old ham, a
Yeah.
big old turkey, a big old everything, and then we don't get leftovers.
Yeah, I mean,
At
if
10.
I so
10 is when
yes,
the leftovers
I
start being scarce.
I would
and
totally
demand.
invite someone who did not have any place else to go that was a friend, because they didn't have any place else to go. I most definitely would do that.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, of course I would do that. But if I was hooking up with someone, probably not. If we're already fucking, I am probably not inviting you to my family's house. Now, the other side of that is, would you go to their family's house and meet them? So, you know what, I might do that, to be honest. I would probably be more apt to go to their family's house because I can get along with anyone. I can blend in anywhere. I
I can
can
get along with
find
anyone.
conversation with anyone. So like I could meld into someone else's, and I could deflect the, oh, are you guys serious? And even if we weren't, I could play it off to be,
I think it's different. Hmm. Yeah,
I
it's
could play it
definitely
off to
different
be, oh, it's
for
okay.
gay men in the gay
Yeah.
world. You know, because there's all the other stuff. Like, is your family accepting? What is the dynamics here? There's a lot more dynamic that goes along with that.
Yeah.
You know, um, the equivalent would be if he's recently divorced. I think it would be the equivalent in the straight world, because then it's like there's all these other questions in the space. It's not just about you; it's about the whole situation.
Right.
Or he has kids, and and then there's a whole other conversation,
Yeah.
and it has nothing to do with you and your relationship. It's what everyone else is dealing with, and while that's not necessarily something I have to worry about, and that's not it's none of my business, but it makes it. I have been in rooms that's been very uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, you have to be able
Because
to
they
be
were
comfortable in the situation. So, like, I think I could see where it would be totally different for, because you also don't know what you're walking into as far as, do they have an uncle that is, or a family member who is extremely anti-gay, and
Mhm.
and then you're put into a whole new situation.
Right.
I definitely think that as a straight cis female, that yes, I have it easy in that, because I could totally go to someone's house and totally get along with the sister and the mom and the dad, and you know um, they might think I'm really odd by the time I leave, but every one of them will want a reading, and
Yeah, I mean,
they'll be like, she has the greatest, like, what a sweetheart after I leave, because moms
that's
love me.
that's the general consensus. Everyone loves me. Again, Eddie's family loved me much more. Wayne's son talked to me more than he talked to Wayne for a long time. Um,
Yeah.
like even Rob. So Rob was the guy during I met him. He was the last one I met right before I left. The whole idea, and we broke up the first the Saturday before lockdown happened for COVID. So that gives you a timeline, right? And he was out to everybody but his kids, which on the surface of that makes sense, right? Except that both his kids knew, has overheard everything, has both questioned him, and he's deflected and lied instead of actually told them the truth. And so now it's this like bad and horrible thing, right? And
Right.
then he can't, the one son, I had said something about his picture on Facebook, and his one son was like ill gross, and that's how we end up dating, by the way, is because of his son like really just saying something nasty. Nothing that I haven't heard before, nothing that even I would even be worried about, but it was because it was his son, and he had this whole thing. And that's how we got to talking, really.
Yeah.
Because what I said was way not, like I'd bang you or anything like that. It was respectable. But I met his wife, his ex-wife, and we got along really great. It was really because of the kids, and the kids were,
And that was because he wasn't honest.
and it got
with
to a
them.
point where, right, he wasn't honest with the kids, and
Yeah.
and what it ended up coming down to was, I felt like a mistress to the kids, and I know that that's you should prioritize your kids. I do have a huge family. I do care about my nieces and nephews. I have seen this. Like, don't get me wrong. And there is ways to do that and still have a relationship that would work. And I've been with straight men.
Yeah, so that is
I've
something
dated
that
men that
my
had families, that was divorced. And,
yeah, that was something that I had a conversation with my kids and my stepkids when my husband and I were together. Was that I love your dad differently than I love you guys, and our relationship has to come first at some point because we are going to be spending the rest of our lives together. Ha ha ha. And we have to build this relationship,
a
and
little
we have to
did you
like
know
each
it was
other
opposite.
at the end of this. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are all going to move out of the house, and and this is a very unpopular opinion, but at the end of the day, you do have to love your partner different. It's different. It's a different kind of love, because everyone always comes at me, well, you're taking, no, it's a different
Yes.
kind of love than you have for your children, and at some point that has to be a priority because you have to maintain that relationship. That's why so many marriages, when all the kids leave the house, and you hear over and over again of like, we don't even know each other anymore. I don't know who I am outside of being a mom and and a wife, and I don't know who I am because for all these years I was this or that, or because they don't know each other anymore because they haven't maintained their relationship. So that was something that I said straight up. The funny thing is that I am super close with my stepkids still to this day. Like, my son calls me every day, just about every day.
Sushi boy.
My sushi boy, yes. But he has only gone to sushi one time since I moved,
Of course, because,
because that
He-
was our thing.
that
Yeah.
was your thing.
Even though he has plenty of people that would go and have sushi with him,
Well, of
It's-
course.
it's not the same. It's not with me. And, but yeah, I talk to my stepkids on a regular basis. I am very, very close with them, and they don't have a relationship with their father, and, interesting enough, my son, which, I have all girls, and then I have my son, and my son is gay, which we laugh about all the time. But I knew he was gay when his dad and I were married, and he was 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, baby, when he, like, he's like, Mom, I'm gay. And I'm like, well, no shit. Like,
I was the
I
last
knew
one to
that
know I
when
was
you
gay.
were 11, like, I knew when your dad and I were together that you were gay. You know what I mean?
I was definitely the last one to know I was gay.
Yeah.
My grandmother called me out. have I told you that story? We walked in from the bar. So my cousin and my brother were both older than me, obviously, and both were gay. And I walked in one time. We walked in. We were dropping Paul off. We went into the bar the night before, and my grandmother said, I don't know how it started, but he can't help that he likes men. And this is like 3 weeks before I came out. So, and I was the first one in my family to come out.
Yeah.
But it was so funny. And my dad caught my brother having sex with a guy once, and it ended up being the reason why my brother moved out of my dad's house. So this is when my parents were divorced.
Yeah.
For the 8 years that my parents were divorced in my life, but it was never talked about again, ever, and no one in the family knew that he was gay. My dad didn't say anything about anybody.
That's crazy.
My brother didn't bring it
You
up
know,
other than me
I've had a
once.
couple of friends. I had one friend when he told his mom, she was like, "Yeah, I know," and he's like, "What?" And she goes, "I was just waiting for you to come tell me." Right, and then another friend of mine, we were in our mid-20s when he told me. So I was in my mid-20s, so he was in his late 20s when he told me, and I went, "Okay," and he's like, "What?" And I go, "Okay, I mean, right on." And he was like, "Well, I don't know what he expected, but he expected some sort of reaction." And I just went, "I don't love you any different. Like, he's one of my closest friends." And I was like, I don't love you any different. And he's like, "Well, did you ever wonder?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And to be honest, I kind of just thought he was asexual, to be like, I had never known him to be with a man or a woman, so I just never, like, we never really talked about it, and he never one way or the, and he said, "Well, why didn't you just ask me?" Right. And I told him, I said, "Babe, if you are uncomfortable, if you weren't going to come to me and tell me, who am I to call you out on something like that? Like, that's not, to me, that's not okay. Because if you're not comfortable enough to come to me and talk to me about it, then, like, I'm not going to put you in that situation." Like, I just didn't think that was okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't.
That's not okay. And I understand where he comes from, because it would have been easier. There's so much, I talk about this all the time. I come out all the time. It's micro things. It's a micro decision. And one of the biggest ones that I can remember, I'm at a bar in Orlando, and I was sitting next to this guy, and we had a really great conversation, and there was a moment of I had to use a pronoun for something, and I couldn't remember, I can't remember the conversation, but I really debated whether or not to use a gendered pronoun.
Right.
And I end up using the gender pronoun because my rule is I don't hide that. But it was a moment that I really did think about it. There's all kinds of little times like that, though, and it's different when I'm actually dating too, because little things happen. The little dates. Oh, I'm going out with date with Omari, or I'm going not. Although Omari wouldn't be them seeing him, it wouldn't necessarily be no one would know that. But I was going on a date with Eddie, or my boyfriend, or
Yeah. Yeah, we don't think about how many times when you're gay that you have to come out. Like, it's not just that initial time. There's so many times. I don't know how many times, though, I have to say that I'm straight.
It's a language. If you were dating somebody, you would just say your boyfriend, and it would be going up. It's just assumed.
I don't think anyone. That's true, but I don't think anyone would be surprised if I said I had a girlfriend either. Though I am straight, so that's come up in conversation too. Have I been with women? Yes, I have been with women, but and there's a but there because
Yeah.
I'm not eating pussy. I don't like eating pussy, so that
You're the first one.
ixnay me to be with a woman. Like I would have to be. It would have to be a very dominant woman who did not want any of that to happen because I just don't like doing that. It's
Hmm.
but I give great fucking head. So, I like penis. I just like penis.
I do too.
Now there are a couple of um, non-binary individuals that I would probably I would jump at the chance to be with. We'll just leave it at that. That if they came knocking at my door, I would
I think I
gladly
told
spread
you
my
this
legs
story.
for
I don't
them.
think I've said this.
Strap on and all, whatever. Just touch me.
Yeah. Whatever. My there is a woman. There's a bartender at my brother's bar, and the very first time I go into this bar, she saw my brother come in, and I know that's what happened. And she decided to take off her shorts because she was wearing a bikini underneath it, and she had one of the nicest asses I've ever seen. And as she took off the shorts, it bounced and jiggled just perfectly. Like, this bitch has rehearsed this in the mirror to see the effect of
I
this
could
thing,
definitely
and
appreciate a
it looked
beautiful.
casual.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely can appreciate a woman, and I love women, and I love cuddling and the softness of a woman, and all of those things. But at the end of the day, I need a dominant male. No, I'm not looking for a dom, so don't come at me being like I'll be. No, that's not what I'm looking for. But I need someone to handle all this feralness because I'm a lot. I admit I'm a lot, though.
I totally understand that from you.
I know
So
you do. Poor Jeff. He has to deal with so
what
much
if
from me.
I, you know,
People don't even know.
and I deal with it too. So don't get me wrong. I dish out as much as I get. So
That is
don't.
true.
I had a really bad. I've had a really rough week. So, and Heather has definitely been there. I called her and said, "I need you to talk me off a ledge the other day.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to kill people or myself, and I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Honestly, I am totally okay. But I was definitely in a space of
Yeah,
not
raging.
liking life at that point.
So here's the deal, you guys. If you are out there and you want to do a holiday hookup, by all means, fucking do that shit. But make sure you're doing it with your eyes wide open. Don't put yourself in any situations that you're uncomfortable in. And just enjoy yourself through the holidays. If that means that you want to go find someone for the holidays to spend some time with and fuck around with, by all means, do it. Just be open and honest about what you want in that situation.
Exactly.
It is okay to ho 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 yourself through the holidays.
Exactly. And practice. It is, and be present. Like actually enjoy the situation.
Yeah.
Don't be all future tripping. Don't be all into your guilt. Don't be all into thing. Just enjoy the fuck and call it a day.
Yeah.
Or build something. There's nothing wrong with that either. But be honest with what you're looking for, because that's huge. Oh my goodness, that couldn't have come up any funnier than if I picked out the card myself.
Oh, so our card
go
for
first,
today
or-
is perseverance. And it says, I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to.
I
I can do what I want.
Go pick up that t-shirt at spiritualsexandcandy.com.
Yeah, I can do what I want.
I love it. And I pulled a two of swords. which
go.
really is about making a decision. There's no fucking wrong answers. So
Yeah.
you're gonna make a decision. You're gonna deal with the situation and call it a day.
Yeah. Yes. Just
So
be open about what you want in the situation.
yeah, just be. That's just it. Be honest with yourself and others.
Yes. Yes.
Because if you're like Heather and you want a relationship or you want more intimacy, not necessarily a relationship, but if you need more intimacy, going and doing a hookup is not necessarily the right answer for you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and if you're looking for connection, that but if you're looking to get your pipes cleaned and you know, um, and you're okay with that, and you know that you're okay with that, and you can look at what it is that you're really looking at. We've talked about that a couple of months ago. We had a whole month of one of the odysseys we went on was really about what is it that you are looking for? What is it that's triggering you to
Yeah.
want to hook up or go on a porn site or what have you? So,
Yeah. Just be
what you
honest
got
with
going on,
yourself.
girly?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I've been trying to do more lives on TikTok. Go follow me over there. You can go to Spiritual Sex and Candy and go to my link tree. You can find me all over social medias, all over the place. I do a daily draw. If you would like a one-on-one with me, go follow me on one of those places and hit me up in my DMs. I'm never going to hit you up in your DMs. Also, go get my 90-day journal, A Little Time for Peace. Connect with yourself and find the peace within that will get you started on the healing journey that you've been looking to and not sure where to start. That's a great way to start. Over on the Amazon. And if you go to
I love
Spiritual
it.
Sex and Candy and hit my link tree, there's a link to it in there. So you can find where I'm at and what I'm doing. Come get a reading.
Yay!
What are you up
I
to,
might,
Jeff?
I need a reading. Lord knows I need some direction right now. Um,
Oh, you.
I am. Um, you can always go to spiritual sex. I'm joking. I know.
He can have a reading any
So
damn time he
let me
wants.
give you the story anytime I want. If I said I need a card pull, all I had to say is I need a card pull. I was joking,
I know.
obviously, and meaning direction. I know what the hell I'm doing. The problem is that the universe doesn't like what I'm doing right now. So obviously, I'm not supposed to in this moment. I'm going to just accept that. I've talked to my partners, and they're okay with it, and they're not. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing. I'm the one giving myself pressure. No one else is. This is all me. So
Yeah.
I have to like just accept that that's what's going on. Although I'm very upset because I'm supposed to be at the farm right now, and they made ravioli, homemade ravioli, and decided to tag me in this picture of it to kind of make me upset. But I will. Um, right, right. And I know for a fact because we made pasta last time I was there, and I joked that my favorite is ravioli. So literally, this meal it's especially for me was planned for me to be there. I'm very not happy. Um, that being said, you can find me at spiritualsexandcandy.com. If you look at my check the link right there on the page, you can get a reading from me also. I am doing readings. You can pick up any of my books. You can, and um, we're doing a special right now for my bundle of courses. That's really cool. The Ditch the Drama and Ditch the Excuses bundle. You can get that for I think it's $97, and normally it's 100 and some odd dollars, so 147. So it comes with three. It comes with three of my best courses and a call with me, and it's really pretty spectacular. It's all the best work that I know is going to move you forward. So you can check that out,
Beautiful.
and it's in the link tree also. All right,
Awesome.
guys, you are so loud. I love you, Heather.
Have a wonderful day, you guys. Have a great holiday. Come join us next week, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, live here on YouTube. Catch us wherever you listen to the wherever you can listen to the podcast. And thanks for listening. Have a great week.
Everyone here at the True Awesome Network asks you to please subscribe, like, comment, and spread awesome.